Let's get straight to it. What are the top 5 biggest needs for the Vikings this offseason? What or who should the Vikings draft? I'm going to start with this. Quarterback is my number 1. Number 2 is the trenches, offensive line and defensive line. Number 3 is running back. Running back is so underrated in today's NFL. You need that to be successful. Number 4, of course, is that linebacker. We need to get a linebacker or two. Number 5, and last but not least, is cornerback. But let me start with quarterback. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback, but the man is 36. He's about to be 36 years old. The man did tear his Achilles. I feel like we need to start thinking about the future at the most important position in the National Football League. We need to start thinking about maybe we should start drafting and giving it a try. I understand it's not a guarantee when you draft quarterbacks in the first round, but it is the best chance of getting your franchise quarterback than you drafted in the 3rd or 4th round and hoping that he plans out. So I look at it like this. Let's look at the Packers for a second. The Packers had Brett Favre. What did they do? They drafted Aaron Rodgers in the 1st round. Sat behind it, Brett Favre for a year or two or whatever. After that, Aaron Rodgers turned out to be a great quarterback. But what did they do with Aaron Rodgers? They drafted Jordan Love. He sat behind Jordan Love for a couple of years. Y'all see where I'm going? They're still being proactive. They're not just looking at the present. They're looking at the future as well. And I'm not saying that the quarterback, if we happen to draft a quarterback in the 1st round in this upcoming draft, that we have to have our quarterback sit a couple years. I wouldn't mind him sitting 1 year. But that's it, though. That is it. You know what I mean? Some of these quarterbacks be starting. It's hard. It's easier said than done for a quarterback to come in the NFL and be a C.J. Stroud, to be a Joe Burrow, to be a Patrick Mahomes. It's easier said than done. It's rare for that to happen. But at the end of the day, it can happen. You know what I mean? I'm going to be optimistic and think that Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi can pick the right quarterback. Maybe it's a Caleb Williams. Maybe it's a Michael Penix. Maybe it's a Jaden Daniels. Maybe it's a Bo Nix. I like Bo Nix. People don't like Bo Nix, but I like Bo Nix. Maybe, who else? It's a Drake May. We trade up. I'm not saying for us to trade up, but I'm just saying if someone falls to us, and if they do happen to trade up to the 3rd spot, and they think that Caleb Williams is the guy, say he drops to the 3rd spot, no one drafts him. I mean, I'll be all for it, man. I'll be all for it. You know what I mean? We got to start trying to get that position right. We got to get that position right. I don't want Russell Wilson. I hope that does not happen. And if we do sign Kirk to an extension, I'm only doing it for 1 year, just 1 year. But let's get to the second position of need, and let's start with the OLine. And I'm gonna keep it real. The O-line and D-line is so important. The trenches are so important. And that's something that we need to get back to as Minnesota. I want a mean offensive line. I want a mean defensive line. I want when teams come to play the Minnesota Vikings, they're like, man, I cannot take that offensive line because when they block, they mean. I can't take that defensive line because when our defensive tackle, our defensive end, they got that dog in them and we can't stop them. I want teams to think like that when they go against the Minnesota Vikings. We haven't had that for the defensive line since the William Wall. We had a couple of defensive ends like Danielle Hunter. There's a big question when it comes to Danielle Hunter. Will he, you know what I mean, resign and all that? But let's get back to the O-line. Now I'm thinking, I'm being proactive. I'm not saying for us to do this, y'all. I'm not saying for us to do this, but I'm thinking about Brian O'Neill. Last offseason, it was the Achilles injury, right? And I'm not taking nothing from him. He's one of the best right tackles when healthy in the whole NFL. But it is a question mark. Can he be healthy? He's been getting hurt lately. Yes, he's a beast when healthy. 6'7", 310 pounds. He's a good player. He's only 28 years old. He's still a good player. Great player. But we got to start being proactive. Maybe we might need to trade him. I'm just saying. I know we got a lot of holes, but it's a lot of injuries piling up on him. You know what I mean? He didn't even finish this season. He messed his ankle up. And hopefully the ankle isn't messed up to the point where he needs to get surgery. Hopefully it's just a sprain. You know what I mean? A regular sprain that heals on its own. But I'm just trying to be proactive because I want to win. I'm not saying I want to trade him. Say that again because people might think I'm trying to trade Brian O'Neill. I'm not. I'm really not. But we have to start being proactive when it comes to every position. You know what I mean? Now, for the tackles, we got Joe Alt from Notre Dame, and he's 6'8", 315 pounds. Debatably one of the best tackles in this draft, in my opinion. I think I think he's good. And then you got J.C. Latham. He's 6'6", 360 pounds. I like him from Alabama. He's a beast. So I'm just saying, if we happen to draft an 11th spot and we draft a guard, not a guard, a tackle, I understand why. I understand. But I still want to get that quarterback. I want that quarterback. That's my number one thing. I want that quarterback. But let's get to the center position. A position that we've been struggling with for a long time. And Bradbury has got it extended. I don't know if it's 3 years. He got 2 years left. I don't know. I just don't trust him. I'm not saying he's a scrub. And I want to say this. When I say that we need to be proactive and get another player, I'm not saying any of these players are scrubs. I'm just trying to think of the future and be proactive so we can cut down on problems later on for the Vikings because I just want to be a consistent contender in the playoffs. I don't care about regular season no more. I care about playoffs because I want to get a Super Bowl. So I just want to get that out the way. So Bradbury, he's not a scrub, but we need somebody different. We need somebody different. And if we could somehow get a center that could be more consistent and it's not so much pressure on the tackles and the guards to help him out because he's given up a lot. He's not the best. I'm just gonna say that. He's not the best center. You know what I mean? And we need to start figuring out something. You know what I mean? Not trying to laugh, but I'm keeping it real. So I was looking at West Virginia center Zach Frazier. I like him a lot. Cedric Van Pran from Georgia and Graham Barton from Duke. Now, y'all let me in the comments below who you would want the most. In my opinion, I like Cedric Van Pran from Georgia. I think he would be perfect for the Minnesota Vikings. Perfect. Now, let's get to the guards because do you have faith in Ed Ingram after this season? He played pretty good as the season went on. He didn't start off too hot. We got to keep it real now. Now, do you think he's good enough? And if so, let's move on to Dalton Risner. Are we going to re-sign Dalton Risner or not? You know what I'm saying? What are we going to do at the guard position? I got a couple of guards that I like from Oregon State, Javian Gray. Solid guard, I like him. And Donovan Jackson from Ohio State. A couple of guards that I like. And then Zach Zenter from Michigan. So we might need to address that guard position. So let me know in the comments below what you think about the guards. And do you think we need to possibly look at the guards in this draft? I know we got so many holes. And that's another reason why I want to get our quarterback in the first round. Because maybe we can have money left over to use to get free agents that are possibly available. You know what I mean? Because if you're paying Kirk 20, 30 mil, whatever amount of mil he wants, 20 mil is probably actually pretty good. But if it's like 30 plus mil, then it's a no-go. You know what I mean? We got too many holes on this team. But that's my opinion on the O-line. Now, let's get to the D-line, right? Now, I already mentioned about Danielle Hunter, career high in sacks, 16 and a half sacks. And he was just absolutely amazing this whole season. And salute to him, man. Salute to him. Very good season. And I would hate to see him go. But we have to think as Viking fans that there's a possibility on the open market they're going to pay him a lot of money. And I don't know if the Vikings going to be able to afford him. I'm just keeping it real. I hope we can keep him, but I don't know if we're going to be able to, man. It's all about the bread. It's all about the money. And I ain't going to be mad at him, bro. If he goes to another team to get that bread. You got to take care of your family. Generational wealth. Build that generational wealth. I ain't mad at him for that. Let's look. So we might have to replace that DE. Then you're going to go to DJ Wanham. DJ Wanham, I don't think he's going to resign. He's going to try to get that bag. He's coming off a quad tear, I believe, but we'll see what happens with him. But there's a couple of defensive ends that I like in particular. And of course, people love Jared Verse. A freaking monster. Number 5. Freaking monster from Florida State. The man is 6'4", 260 pounds. He's a beast, man. High motor, had 9 sacks. He's a beast. I would love to get him. That would be a nice pickup at 11 if we had to, if we're not going the quarterback route. I would love to get Verse. That would be awesome. Adisa Isaac from Penn State. I'm a Penn State guy. From PA, Philly, everything besides football. I'm a diehard Minnesota Viking fan. But Penn State, that's my college football team. And Adisa Isaac will be perfect. 7.5 sacks, 6'4", 254 pounds. And Mohamed Kamara from Colorado State. That's another defensive end that I was looking at that I think it could be a possibility. You never know. Now let's get to defensive tackle. This is no disrespect to the defensive tackles this year. Tonga, number 95. I had a lot of faith in Tonga, number 95, but he let me down all dang on season. He let me down. He didn't do enough. I was hyping him up. I was telling all the Viking people, look out for number 95 Tonga. He all right. Harrison Phillips, he all right. He ain't bad. He's solid, but we need to do better. Roy, and this is no disrespect to the defensive tackles. I'm just trying to improve this team so we can win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Trying to win a Super Bowl. But I'm looking for a defensive line, like I said before earlier in the video, that's like the William Wall. You know what I mean? I'm tired of people running on us, man. I'm tired of that, man. I want a mean defensive tackle that can get the job done and put the fear in every offensive line's head. I want them to fear us, man. I really do. But let's look at Kris Jenkins from Michigan. 6'3". 305 pounds, 2.5 sacks. That Michigan defense was the number 1 college defense for a reason, and it started with that defensive line. That defensive line was pretty darn good. Washington Huskies had no chance of running the ball. I think they only rushed like 45 yards the whole game. Probably less than that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but Kris Jenkins was a big reason because of that. You're not running on that. You're not running on that defense. Also, and that's my number 1 defensive tackle. And then there's another defensive tackle that I was looking up. Jerzan Newton from Illinois. Excuse me, y'all. 6'2", 295 pounds, 7.5 sacks. Now, he is a monster as well. They have him ranked higher than Kris Jenkins, but I like Kris Jenkins a lot. I would love to get Kris Jenkins on the Minnesota Vikings. Leonard Taylor III from Miami. And then you got Mekhi Wingo from LSU. He has 4.5 sacks. He's 6'1", and he's 295 pounds. I feel like he's underrated. He's very powerful, man. Very powerful defensive tackle. Look out for him. I think he's going to do good in the NFL. And let me know in the comments below what you think about the DEs, who you will want, and the DTs, who would you want? You know what I mean? And let's get to the running backs, the most disrespected position group in the NFL for some strange reason, because running backs are so important in today's NFL. And as a Viking fan, we witnessed Madison not getting the job done. We finally started running the ball successfully, but it was a little bit too late with Ty Chandler. I'm not sure if Ty Chandler is going to be running back 1. I don't think he should be. He could be a good running back 2. But Madison, I'm no disrespect. I'm just trying to win a dang on Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I don't think he should be. He could probably be running back 3 or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, y'all leave in the comments below and let me know what you think about that. Running back 3, Madison. You know what I mean? I know he's from Boise State. He was a beast behind Dalvin Cook. But this past season, bruh, nah. He should not be running back 1. And I wonder why Kevin O'Connell didn't see that earlier. You know what I mean? I don't know. But let's get to the best running back in this draft, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. All these players that I'm naming are the players that I like. You know what I mean? First player is Trey Benson from Florida State. I feel like he's the best running back in the game. And I just, in this draft, and I just feel like He doesn't fumble the ball. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's a tough guy to bring down. He's carrying defenders. He's fast. He, like I said, he breakaway speed, man. Breakaway speed. I think he would be perfect for the Minnesota Vikings. I would love to get Trey Benson, number 3. I would love to get him. Now let's go to Blake Corum from Michigan. I feel like looks could be deceiving. The man had 27 tackles this past season, 1,245 rushing yards. He's a straight monster. He's only 5'8". He's a beast. But it's not how tall he is. It's how much heart he has, man. He be breaking tackles. He knows how to get to the end zone. And he reminds me of Maurice Jones-Drew. If y'all remember him. And Maurice Jones-Drew was a beast when he played in the NFL. And he was only 5'7". So he reminds me of him. I would love to get Blake Corum from Michigan. I would really love that. I think that would be cool to draft him. My third favorite running back is from USC, Marshawn Lloyd. I like him as well. Y'all leave in the comments below. Let me know which running backs y'all like and who we should possibly draft. And we'll go from there. Now, let's get to the linebacker core, right? Linebackers are another underrated position that we don't really think about as much, and we need to start putting more respect on the linebacker position because we struggled, man. I mean, Ivan Pace Jr. was great. What's the other linebacker? Asamoah. I don't know if he can get on the field. He's not consistent enough. Who else? Jordan Hicks. Are we going to re-sign Jordan Hicks? I have no freaking clue. But these are some of the linebackers that I like, and I'm going to start with this guy because he's a beast to me. He's a straight up beast to me, man. And that's Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I'm pretty sure the Eagles are going to draft him, but Jeremiah Trotter, his dad, when he played for the Eagles, bro, was a freaking monster. He was a freaking monster. One of my favorite players in the NFL. Was never an Eagles fan, but I did like some of the players on that defense, Brian Dawkins and Trotter. You know what I mean? Trotter, the hammer. Like, Trotter was that guy, and he definitely passed those genes on to Jeremiah Trotter Jr. from Clemson. 5.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions. He's 6 foot, 230 pounds. He is a straight beast, y'all. He is a straight beast. If y'all haven't watched him play, go look at Clemson highlights. That man is all over the field. Where there's a play made on defense, I guarantee you he's right there making that play. Or he's close to it. I'm telling you. Now, I'm going to go to Dallas Turner, Alabama. Debatably the best linebacker in this draft. 10 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. He's 6'4", 242 pounds. Beast, man. Dallas Turner, beast. Let me know what you think about him. And Chop Robinson from Penn State. You know I got to represent for the Penn State PA, baby. You know I got to represent Penn State. Beast linebacker, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 6'3", 250 pounds. I like those linebackers. You let me know in the comments below what you think about those linebackers. If there's another one that I'm missing that you like. But these are my favorite linebackers that I think the Vikings should possibly look at and draft. Now let's get to the last position and not least, cornerbacks, right? Going back to Clemson. Nate Wiggins. Debatably, the best corner in this game, in college football. 6'2", 185 pounds, 2 forced fumbles and 2 interceptions. They really don't throw it his way all like that. Nate Wiggins is a beast. I like him. Another corner that I like, and I like his name. But he does have that dog in him. He didn't have no interceptions, but he definitely knows how to get the job done. Is Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? My favorite Let me know in the comments below. What's your favorite Kool-Aid flavor, man? Was it watermelon, fruit punch, blueberry, whatever, orange? Just let me know in the comments. Did you like to mix it up together? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, man. I like his name, but he got game as well. And we definitely need a corner. We definitely need corners. Byron Murphy, is he going to be with us? Like, we got a cornerback issue, and we definitely have to address that in the draft, possibly, or in free agency. This is something that I want our defense to be really, really good this upcoming season. Like, I don't want to go from where we were at this season and then just start being bad because we possibly might lose our defensive coordinator. I just hope we get enough talent to hold us down enough to keep us in that 15 to 10 range. There's 16 to 10 range when it comes to ranking and overall defense. I do not want to take a step back. I'm going to repeat that. I do not want to take a step back if Brian Flores is not the defensive coordinator. I just don't want to. But cornerbacks was a problem this year, and we're going to have to address that. We're definitely going to have to address that. Another corner that I like, it's not because he's from PA, but I like that he is from PA. His name is TJ Tampa from Iowa. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. He had 2 interceptions this past season. He's from Norristown, PA. That's like right down the street from where I live right now. So that's pretty cool. But that's all I got to say about what my opinion on what we should do in the draft. And y'all let me know who I'm missing. You know what I mean? And tell me if you agree on the 5 biggest needs we need this offseason. I'm out. This is the end of the video. I truly appreciate you vibing with the bull. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. I'm out.
Mike Sports Vibes, thank you for vibing with me. Yeah. Mike Sports Vibes, thank you for vibing with me. I'ma talk that talk about the Sixers and the Vikings. I'ma talk that talk about the Sixers and the Vikings. Let's go. I really do this. I'm a hybrid fan. I'm a stand-up man. Yeah. They be hating on the squads, but they really a fan. I'ma talk that talk about the Sixers and the Vikings. I'ma talk that talk about the Sixers and the Vikings. Let's go.